Teacher Association, as it has often been called PTA, is a system that was introduced to assist the government in building and carrying out developmental projects within communities that badly needed schools, and most of the activities centered along building classrooms, providing didactic needs, and also paying some teachers that need to be paid in terms of beefing up the education in a particular area. And these PTA mostly focus within the local communities or communities that government newly allocated schools. Over the years, parents have also used this platform to actually give their opinion as to what they think need to be done in order to fine-tune the education of their children, and also use the opportunity to actually question some of the things that they feel that the institution is not doing. And that's why this period is always been characterized by argument upon argument. PTA was seen in the past as a very vital tool in educational growth and development across our secondary schools, primary schools, and also nursery schools. Parents Teacher Association, as the name goes, was being managed or is being managed by parents themselves, who come together in a conclave to appoint one of theirs to head the association, and to appoint members that will act as treasurer, with the different principals and head teachers appointed by government to play the oversight. Over the years, these activities, the activities of this Parents Teacher Association have been lauded by many, and also, since it has been lauded by many, some also unscrupulous principals, head teachers, have used this platform to enrich themselves and to make gains in areas where they needed not to. When we look at examples of some institutions created by or built by Parents Teacher Association, many will say that it is a good idea turned upside down. And with the Minister of Secondary School, Minister Nalova, has actually brought in some changes to ensure that there should be check and balance within this PTA levy. It has been rumored on several occasions that some big schools that actually have nothing to do in terms of constructions or little to do in terms of construction collect PTA levy and actually eat them in alliance with their principals and head teachers. This has actually made many parents to question the rationale if actually they should pay this PTA levy. Some also have the opinion, who have never appreciated the idea that parents should contribute to construct schools, are still of the opinion that is there need to even contribute PTA when the same individuals pay taxes to the government, when it is still the responsibility of the government to provide basic resources and also to pay teachers to educate the students. That why is it that parents will still have to contribute again in what is known as PTA levy to build schools, that what use is the government when they cannot construct schools? Regardless of which side of the argument that you stand, the question we are asking is, the payment of PTA levy, should we continue in paying this levy, mindful of the fact that most of the accountability are not being given? How many persons actually have been arrested as far as the misuse of PTA levy are concerned? How many persons or how many principals have been demoted or sacked because they collaborated with PTA chairmen to actually siphon money meant for developmental projects? Should we still go by the adage, that old habit, thy heart? This is House of Commons with me, Tah Mai Jarvis. Happy Sunday to all those of you who are watching us from different parts of the world. A special happy Sunday to you, Reverend Father John Paul Akumchi, who during this period of August will be celebrating his birthday, or priestly also anniversary, birthday. Will be celebrating the birthday. Happy Sunday to you, Reverend Father John Paul Akumchi, and a special happy Sunday to you, Father Collins of the parish of Annunciation Parish, Bonamusadi. Father Collins, happy Sunday, and also may God continue to guide and protect you in your endeavor. Happy Sunday to all those of you who are watching us from different parts of the world. To the Bishop of Boya, His Lordship Michael Bibi, happy Sunday to you, my Lord, and also Father Mai Edwin, who is on a send-off today to Limbe Parish from Douala, where he was the Fidideum. Happy Sunday to you as you move to Limbe, and also to you, Mr. Nyam Robert, and your wife. Happy Sunday to you guys in the United States of America. I'll begin the program by introducing you to my guest with whom we are going to discuss on today's topic. But today's first topic, we are going to look at the Cameroon's economy. What state and form are we as far as the economy is concerned? Here in the studio, we had actually invited senior barrister Ashu Emmanuel. Unfortunately, he just indicated that he will not be able to make it because of unforeseen circumstances. And also, we are with the arrival of Mr. Kimbang Vitalis, who will be joining us. We are here in the studio with very, very fine minds, a pedagogue, a scholar, a researcher, who has also been able to train numerous students, thousands of students across the higher education in terms of their different theses, and also enable to come up with solutions that can help to restructure Douala in terms of its engineering structures, and why not drainage and refuse disposal in the Douala city. He is a lecturer across some universities in Cameroon, and also someone who acts as a consultant when it comes to higher education across some other universities in and around Cameroon. He is Engineer Dixon. Engineer Dixon, happy Sunday and thanks for joining us.
Happy Sunday, Mr. Jarvis. Happy Sunday, our tele-viewers. It's a rare privilege to share this platform with you. I hope that Cameroonians who are listening to us will have another opportunity to be enlightened, and as well as give us their own shared opinion. And happy Sunday, and I want to send a hand of fellowship and congratulations to our compatriots who are representing us at the Olympic in Paris. My prayer is that their performance should make us proud. We are expecting to have many gold medals this time around. I hope the dream come true, so we'll have something to celebrate. I'm telling you,
we are happy with I think it's Sembe, who is he qualified for the semi-final for the 100 men's 100 meter race. He qualified for the semi-final. Our thoughts and prayers are with you, so that you should actually come home with the gold medal, so that we will also announce that Cameroon had a gold medal. To begin the program with the first topic, Cameroon's economy, the current state of Cameroon's economy, and also analysis of the state and form. In 2019, Cameroon's GPA was 3.48. In 2020, the GPA dropped from 3.48 to 3.22. That is a drop of 0.26. In 2021, Cameroon's economy increased a bit from 3.22 to 3.34. In 2022, Cameroon's GDP moved to 3.58, a significant increase. And in 2023, the GDP was estimated to be from 204.55 billion US dollars, which is also an increase. And in 2014, there is an estimation that amount will rise from 204 to 213 billion US dollars. As that is concerned, many are asking the question, with all of these figures, how does this transcend to the common man? How does the common man feel the effect that these figures ought to make the common man to live a life that is better in terms of looking at the cost of living, which is supposed to reduce, and the standard of living, which is supposed to increase? And now it's also pushing many to ask that with all this GDP, how does that affect the How does that affect the value for the CFA, the value for money? The value for money is what money can buy in terms of goods and services. Those of you watching us, you also have the opportunity to participate in the program this time by letting us know where you are watching us from, also by calling us, because we shall be opening the line. But Engineer Dixon, who is here with us, I want to start the program with him to ask him some of the questions before we can actually open the line. Engineer, when you look at Cameroon's economy, current state of Cameroon economy, having listened to the GDP I read, maybe I take it again for those who are just joining us. Cameroon's GDP from 2019, it was 3.48 GDP. From 2020, it moved from 3.48, it dropped significantly to 3.22, and many probably had attributed that to COVID-19. It moved now from 3.22 to 3.24, a significant increase to 0.3, 0.56. Then now it moved to 2023.58, and now we are not talking about the economy with a budget of an estimated growth of 213 billion US dollars. With all these figures, the common man still does not feel the effect.
Those figures are good for those who are economists and specialists in economic figures. I think this is House of Common, and I'm going to look at it from the standpoint of a common man, not from the standpoint of an economic expert. But I think that basic management tells you that there are some key indicators that will show that we are making progress or we are making a regress. The Cameroon government is having a document called the Economic Development Plan from 2020 to 2030. So there is a plan, and any Cameroonian who wants education can get that document online. There you are going to see all the objectives that the states have highlighted and are working towards realizing, with hope of making the common man feel at ease in this country. But when we look at the reality, we see that we are gradually going towards 2030, and those objectives that were set with timelines, they are not being met in time. I should remind you that one time in this program, we gave advice to the state on some key issues that needs to be touched for us to emerge very fast, and one of it was energy. We had that conversation here, and I really congratulated the head of state for hitting his hand on the table that in this 2024 we are going to witness the functioning and inauguration of the dams, the Lompanga, the Mevele. All the dams are undergoing construction. So we are still hoping. We are now in what month are we? We are in August. In the month of August. August. So 2024 is not finished. So we are still very patient, but we hope that by December 31st again, we should all be applauding the fact that he will be announcing that these dams were launched. Mr. Jarvis, what is the challenge that Cameroon economy is facing now? Number one, that very plan that has been developed is being exhausted. Why? Exhausted and is running out of steam, because the way it was announced and all the railways that we thought would be constructed by now, the one that had to connect Douala right to Jamina in Chad, we are not seeing all of that coming to limelight. So I can say the development plan is running out of steam, and governance indicators have also deteriorated, because the common man cannot say for clear and for certain that we are making this progress because we achieve this milestone at this time and achieve this at this other time. Also, human capital remains very weak. Human capital remains very weak. If need be, I think we should import some expertise from outside to to assist us. If is that the companies that are constructing these dams are lacking in some expertise, we need to solicit so that this work can get done very fast. And we also have the business environment, which is not favorable. Many times I have mentioned in this platform that the tax system needs to be reviewed with some tolerance for new upcoming entrepreneurs. That tolerance needs to be there. That environment, everybody needs to feel like he or she can have a piece of the cake of this country, not only to look for visa and spend millions to leave the country. The second aspect which shows that our economy is facing great challenge is fragility and conflicts. We still have a lot of conflicts going on within the state. I will not want to overlabor on that, and all these conflicts have led to the collapse in our social services. We can attest that there are some areas that schools are still not going on. So all these social services are down. There are some areas that can have potable water. There are some areas that are not having internet.
And
so
the major, the second most largest sector that employs a part of the government is down. That's CDC.
CDC agriculture.
Senegal also is down.
Yeah, the third aspect is persistent poverty. If you walk around, you see poverty everywhere, and things are getting worse. I think we started going down the valley from 2020 when we were taken aback by the coronavirus.
Yes, because if you look at the GDP rate, definitely, which is 3.22.
Yes.
We moved from 2019, that was 3.48 to 3.22.
Voila.
In 2020.
So the country was already facing two major crises. The Anglophone crisis, which we all are aware of, the Boko Haram crisis, then COVID-19 came from nowhere and pushed the economy again down. So we can't say the economy is going up. It's not going up yet. And we have market concentration and state ownership. So you see, most of our major enterprises are state-owned, and this reduces domestic competition, which is something that should be favorable. Now I can ask you, why don't we have fish in the market? Why can the common man not have fish? Fish has become like a goal. It's too expensive, We also have debt management. To the best of my knowledge, I think the government, if I don't get it wrong, is fighting to get a bill that will permit banks to send money back to the state treasury, monies that have been dormant in the bank for 5 years, that they can go back to the treasury. All of this is to do what? To manage debt, But we can't manage debt by stiffening banks, because banks, their objective in an economy is to control the flow of money, to get money to investors so the economy can move.
Come to a certain level where you think about money that have been dormant returned to state treasury.
That's it.
How desperate have we been?
That is the desperateness I'm talking about. So these are all indicators to tell you the economy is really suffering. We are already faced with high food prices. A bag of 25 kilogram of rice now has gone up to 16,500. You see? And who is giving us rice? Asia. What is the population of Asia? Asia is in billions. How can a population of billion have enough rice to eat themselves, and then they send rice to us with much land that we can cultivate rice? Arable land that is very fertile, that we can cultivate rice here. And don't forget that there were a group of experts who came to see how they can conduct a soil survey for the possibility of grain agriculture. I think it was a Chinese company. How has that ended? Nobody knows.
And Dr. Nick also did a sample in Dongamant, which did very well.
Good. So I'm saying that debt management is not resolved by stifling the people with high taxes. On the contrary, there's no problem with taxes. We all have to pay tax. But when this tax gets to the government should prioritize project areas. In Douala, the economic hub of Douala is a seaport. If you take the poor out of Douala, Douala is zero. Now, good, we have identified that the economic hub of Douala is the poor. Now, in the rural areas, what is the economic hub? Agriculture. So what should be done in the rural areas? We should have experts who go into these rural areas and do industrialized agriculture. Once the agriculture is booming now,
the government can look at road infrastructure so this food can move to every nooks and crannies of this country. And why not sign good partnerships with China and India for processing? That is where we can now say we are generating
post-harvest
good, and we sell all of these products. Now we can pay our debt with ease. There is an African country that once paid their debt with cows. To tell you that the agriculture that we are neglecting can even pay our debt, rather than going
that
to
money that have been dormant in
they should go back to state treasury. Before, if the person reappear after 5 years, you start doing documentation for that money to come back so you can access your money. It's crazy.
And we still have contractors that are not being paid by government.
Sure.
Yes,
so there's a lot of, we can go on and on to show how this economy is not working.
Okay. You've laid down a litany of issues there. I want us to go step by step.
Yeah.
Now let's look at the dams. We talked about we were told about Menvele, Longpanga, Nanga Eboko, Bangmankin. What is the state of this dam? By now, we should be energy sufficient. By now, we should export energy. You are an engineer. What level are we?
Everything about that dam for now, the knowledge we still have about the dam is the last knowledge we know about, which I think was 85 and above % to completion. So up to now, I have not received any announcement as to whether any of them is at 100%. So I keep saying that I think the Cameroonian consciousness needs to wake up. All stakeholders and leaders need to wake up. If this country is going to kick off and be better for our children and children's children, is when all of us we awaken the love for the nation. There are various ways an economy can be sabotaged. I will not want to say this is a sabotage. I'm pleading on all the stakeholders to put the resources together and get this done, because the common man needs it. Our children in rural areas who don't have light need to have access to quality learning.
Yeah, because we keep saying that education is an inalienable right of a child.
Of course.
But we fail to provide the need.
They need the electricity for them to study.
The child's right to go to school.
And you don't give the child light. You understand? And not only that child tomorrow will become an entrepreneur who will want to play an active role in a particular sector of the economy. In that, again, the child needs energy. So we can't be playing politics with the necessity of the common man. So, like I said, the head of state has said 2024 we are going to see that dam operational. We as law-abiding citizens, we are praying that the experts and technicians who are to get that done should do it fast in due time, according to the timeline of the head of state.
Now, engineer, how do we even move from a level of energy? When we look at the energy supply in Cameroon, most communities go dark. Most communities cannot actually talk about 24 hours electricity supply. Should we continue to rely on dams in an area where we're talking about renewable energy, an area where we're also talking about moving to nuclear, like Niger just signed a partnership with Russia to look at nuclear energy? We're talking about solar energy. Are we still not looking at other alternatives? Why not also go to falls? We have mentioned fall. There's a fall in Bafoussam. Why are we limiting our minds? Is it so costly? You as a looking at dams, falls, and also renewable. Which one is more efficient and could be best for Cameroon?
To me, we should embrace all, because we need energy. No economy can move. Energy is just like the mitochondria of the system, you know. So without adequate ATP, you can't function as a human being. So without electricity, how can an economy function? Especially a digital economy that we have now, where people are running their businesses online, and you tell them that they can't have access to energy. So to me, if we see that the hydro power system is having some limitations, then we should liberalize other sectors. And why not allow the citizens themselves to see how in some communities they can develop their power systems, not waiting only for the state. So if, for example, the Nchupichem the government has limitations to get it done, why not allow the community? I think that is decentralization.
Yes.
You know, in local development. So that possibility should be there, and it should be enshrined in policies of the state, that a community can manage and provide the energy they need for the time being, until when government now has the means to either upgrade or give them the necessary support they need to enhance the sustainability of the energy that they have given to themselves. So I think we should be open when energy is concerned.
Okay. Now, you are talking on the fact that we should look at the broader perspective of not just limiting ourselves to just renewable. And that's the same thing that Donald Trump just said, the presidential nominee of the Republican Party, that in as much as we have renewable energy, we should harness on all the different forms of energy.
Exactly.
If you want to go, it's better to go hybrid.
Yeah.
Because you don't know which system can fail and which one can be very effective. Now, I stay with you on the issue of, let's come at the level of road infrastructures, because we are looking at the economy. The economy was shape and form. Looking at the road infrastructures, how you rate our current state of road, looking at how much impact it has or they have in our economy?
The road infrastructure of Cameroon as at now is very deplorable. There is a rapid deterioration of already constructed roads. Mr. Jarvis, you need to travel now from Douala to Boya, or Douala to Limbe. And then you see around, yes, you see around Miselele to Tiko. You see the way the road everywhere is scattered. The thing that annoys me is that maintenance at this level is cheaper, but nobody will say anything until when vehicles reach there. We have to push them out with hands for them to move. Then the politicians now will come, oh, you have oversuffered, let's see what we can do. Meanwhile, now is the time for them to look at these roads. You see what I'm saying? Coming back in Douala here, tell me one street that you enter in Douala and walk kilometers without meeting pothole. I haven't seen. So maintenance culture is not there. If we have been given these roads, we should see how these roads are maintained in due time, so we don't incur high costs. And roads, like I said one time in this platform, affects a lot of other sectors. In Douala, you see that children can't reach in school on time, and the discipline master will be there waiting to flog them.
Yeah.
Not knowing that they couldn't reach on time because of the bad state of road in the city. You know, so the road infrastructure is very, very deplorable and should be looked at. I would not want to get into figures, you know, because it might make it sound very, very fearful. Yeah, but the road infrastructure is not the best as of now, even in Yaoundé. Yes.
I'll be coming back to you on that. Good afternoon, sir. I am very disappointed with the government of Cameroon. They say youth should concentrate on agriculture, yet they cannot support the youth. I am a native of Bamenda. Virtually on daily basis, we have power failures. Communication is a hindrance. Network issue in Bamenda is a topic of the day. The road network in Cameroon is very horrible. Cameroon has the most expensive roads but less durable. This is coming from say NNM, and that also this other one says happy Sunday to you guys in the studio. I quite like the analysis of Engineer Dixon. If we look at what we have in Cameroon today, we must all be honest that no sector in this country is working. Look at the GDP, the definition of GDP. Many people are confused looking at the GDP and thinking that Cameroon is so rich, and that's why when you go out of Cameroon, they will tell that GDP is high, that you are from a rich country. GDP is simply the total calculation of the number of resources in a country divided by the total number of population in that country. That is the GDP. And so we cannot look at that and equate that Cameroonians are very rich, because you take the total resources of Cameroon and you divide by the total number of Cameroonians, that gives you a GDP. But look at the average Cameroonian. How much do they have in terms of food? How much do they have in terms of salary? Just few people use these resources and make good use of them. Why the total calculation will be based on the fact that people everywhere in Cameroon are enjoying, which is not true. And that leads me to the definition of GDP engineer, because sometimes when you look at this definition, a lot of people will say, yeah, you know, Cameroon is rich, and when you look at this, which means the total available resources, estimated resources divided by the total number of population, that gives you the GDP, which means that every Cameroonian has that possibility of 3.4 something.
No, don't confuse GDP with per capita income.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I think what he's trying to define there is per capita income, meaning the income of an individual in that state when they take the resources and divide. Now, GDP in I'm not an economist. A normal balance GDP is the gross domestic
product divided by total number of population.
Yeah, the gross domestic product. Now, gross domestic product meaning what we produce and can sell. Because if we produce and sell, that is what gives the strength of our currency. You see that? But when we import more than we produce, we can't have a strong currency because the currency is leaving the country. I don't know if you understand. That's common. That's common sense. Okay, that's why I think the government should not play with agriculture. They should wake up. They should wake up. Mr. Jarvis, we can, if there is a blackout today, that something happen, a world war take place somewhere, or there is a nuclear world war, there is a magnetic world war, that turn off all the digital system of the world. We will survive without technology. But can we survive without food?
No.
So we are playing with something that if it happens, it can take us unaware. A people that feed well will have energy to build infrastructure.
You're right.
A people that are hungry can't even think well. Go to a meeting, Mr. Jarvis, go to a meeting hungry and let that meeting last only for 4 hours. And if they ask your opinion in that meeting, you can never sound intelligent. Not that you are not intelligent, but the hunger alone is a big distraction. Cameroonians are not feeding well because we are playing with agriculture.
Yeah.
I asked a question that why is there no fish in the market? What has happened to fish? The mbonga that we used to eat, while we knew that was food for poor man, is it the case today?
Yeah, it's because it's kind of the fresh mbonga
that you know.
That will put it like that with 300.
Voila.
It's food for poor.
Is it the case today? Banana, when we were growing up, banana was food for poor people. We used to even give pigs.
Yes.
We say
like the Northwest.
Yeah, we say we don't eat. We don't want banana as food for pigs.
Yes.
Can you buy banana today? So what is happening to our farms? We are not importing these things. We are producing them, Mr. Jarvis. Why can't the government look at it and see how we can industrialize this production? Let Cameroonian feed. And you have the best brains. Cameroonians are very intelligent. Cameroonians are very smart. You see them out performing well because when they go out, they feed well. When they're in the country, they look for food. They don't see. What is the price of palm oil now? Palm oil. 1.5 liter is sold now at 1,500. The Minister of Trade, I think one time, removed a communique that no, we are going to buy granite oil now at 1,100 or 1,200. Is it what is happening in the market? How can you sign something you don't follow up? You go to the market, you still buy a mayo at 1,500 for 1 liter. But there is a communique sign with a big stamp with the seal of the nation,
which indicates a different price.
Who is fooling who?
But probably it's because price control doesn't take their. Maybe you have not gone to those areas to actually put in the full implementation of what the minister signed.
Price control? Are you going to force a businessman to incur loss because you want to implement a policy? On the contrary, you have to make it easy for that businessman to operate, and then you impose on the businessman to reduce the price. So you don't start by solving a problem from bottom, from grassroots. You start from top. You look at what is the tax, what is the levy, the tax on that product. What can we do? Is it this a necessity? Cameroonians can't live without oil. All right, let's do a tax waiver on that product, or let's reduce the custom dues on the product.
How do we even come to the level where we really import most of these things with the arable land that we have? That is actually the problem.
That is what we have a few palm oil refining companies in Douala. I don't want to mention names for publicity reasons, but it's not enough. These palm oil mills can provide refined palm oil to all Cameroonians, so we must import. Now, the economic plan, like I said, they need to review it. They need to go back and review the economic plan, and if they want to go by the economic plan, then they should go with deadlines. Stop going and borrowing huge sums of money and buying cars for parliamentarians and all these people when people can fit. There are families here in Douala that feed only on bread, morning bread and beans, afternoon bread and pork, evening bread and granite. Then that child who want to reach at the age of 40 is having diabetes. All his youthful life he ate bread. We are having hypertension everywhere because of what? The feeding style. And we want these same people to get up and think straight. Some of the youths are even going towards drug because they can't fit. So they want to dose themselves off. Because if they come back to their normal sense, they'll feed on what? So it's better they just sleep.
Now let's look at this issue. Talk about the refinery, probably just few in Douala. But what does it take? We have brains. We have institutions like the educational policy of the head of state.
Yeah,
it gives room for institutions to have set up factories and set up, I'm sure set up businesses.
Yeah, enterprises.
Enterprises. Mm-hmm. Now, why can't we, these high institutions, borrow from that document and now be a substitute in terms of oil refinery?
First, we need expertise. Oil refinery, that's process engineering. Okay, we need expertise, and once we get the expertise, we need a flexible loaning system where entrepreneurs can take advantage. Okay, we need a flexible loan system where entrepreneurs can take advantage, because the government can't do it all. The government needs a kind of partnership with the private sector, but with a clear objective on what they want to achieve. You understand? We have the Dangote refinery. Who are those manning the refinery? Indians. Okay? Cameroonians are under. That's the kind of relation that we need now. I'm not saying we'll go to India and bring all the Indians to come and open the factory here. No, that would be a big blunder. Okay? We can bring the Indians when we see that they can help us in that sector. But who own that company? A Cameroonian. I don't know if you understand. Then we are bringing in the Indians now for what? Technology. So and then we mesh them with Cameroonians. And with time, these Cameroonians now can take over and implement and expand. That's what China did.
Now, engineer, I'm not against what you're saying, but I just want to be factual here. You are saying we need this expertise. That was a question I longed to ask you when I moved to human capital. Yeah. Now, you had said we need expertise. But for the past 50 years since we regained independence as a nation, we have higher institutions.
Yes.
That have been training people of different fields. What and who have we been training? That for 50 years we will still need expertise out of Cameroon. Is it that our schools are more of a showbiz?
It's a good question. But let's be pragmatic and be real. Mr. Jarvis, after independence, the need for Cameroon at that time was to train administrators. People who administer the state after the colonial masters have left. So the educational system at that time was to train thinkers. Okay? That's why people were going into institutions, doing history, political science, all of those things. We needed thinkers who administer the affairs of the state. Okay? Now, when thinkers were trained, there was now need for what? For development. That's why the BTS program was created some 20 years ago.
The HND.
The HND and the BTS were created some 20 years ago. Because the state now comes to awareness that if in the next 30 years we are going to develop the economy, we don't just need thinkers, but we need people who will get into the various sectors, be it agriculture, be it infrastructure development, be it technology, be it manufacturing. You see what I'm saying? So now we are in that phase of training workers Okay, but now it is faced with limitations, which we have discussed in this platform at one time. The first limitation is laboratories. Okay, so it's a good policy, it's a good timing, but it is not well accompanied. If you ask me in all sincerity, instead of us spending billions in university games,
yes, because I've once asked what use has that game.
It's good. University games is good, but we should do what is necessary first. Instead of us spending billions in university games for ministers to sit in and enjoy games with students, I prefer that we take the billions and set pilot training centers. Okay, in major towns, we can make it a 5-year project. We mobilize the same billion. We create a one pilot training center in Douala that train students in all the fields. Because if you leave this practical training in the hands just of these businessmen who are in the school business, we will never have the effectiveness that we really need. So it will slow the pace of taking over. That's the first challenge. The second challenge is at the level of internship. I mentioned this again one time. You find these parastatals and companies that are already established in these various sectors. They are closing themselves
they don't give
to schools. They don't want to give internship, despite the fact that the head of state have signed that even if they give internship, they will have some tax tolerance. They will reduce some of their tax if they can show proof that they are engaged in training Cameroonians. They will have some tax, because the state has as objective in the educational policy to develop local content. The will is there, Mr. Jarvis. The documents are there. The state have already demonstrated that willingness, but now the expertise to implement this policy to fullness is limited. So I think that the ministry is doing a great job trying to see that education gets to the doorsteps of everybody. Because before now, I think many big cities now in Cameroon have higher education, which have cut down costs to parents. Before, it was very expensive for a parent to send a child to Boya, Bamenda, pay rent. So if a child now is maybe in Kumba, and there's a higher institute, and the higher institute can offer the program that the child wants, you see that the cost of study has reduced. I don't know if you understand. So it's a good thing, but it should be accompanied with a clear-cut strategy on how we can really equip these students.
I agree with you.
Then lastly, I'm not done. Then lastly, after equipping these students now, the government can now face the financial institutions. Because after you have trained people, they need finance to install and practice what they have learned.
Okay.
So if a child who has studied agriculture for 4 years leaves school, the government should have a mechanism that can permit that child acquire some hectares
of land.
But
my question also, the engineer, what project are these students doing in school? Like, for example, somebody in the School of Agriculture, for example, what project are you doing where you are not giving land to actually carry out this project?
No, agriculture like that, Mr. Jai, don't globalize it.
We are not giving.
Yeah, no, agriculture alone has different branches.
Yes, in
agriculture we have plant production.
Yes, let me take plant. Let me take all the.
I'm coming first. We have plant production. We have animal production.
And husbandry.
Okay, and then we have agroeconomy.
Yes.
We have the agro business now.
Yes.
And we have food processing.
Yes.
So all of this is agriculture. Okay, so you can't say what projects are these children doing. In my understanding, the few schools I've visited that offer agriculture, I discovered that many children have already discovered that to acquire land is difficult. So majority of students who are in agriculture are either going to agro business or animal production.
Let's take agro business. Let's take animal production. What project are they doing that sometimes a child is doing a final year project does not have a sample of animal that he or she is raised?
No, they have.
No, I've seen some projects now. Maybe they have. What do they after that presentation? What level do we see? We don't see the implementation after that.
There is. I cannot use the platform and bluntly brush all the students with a broad brush as if they are doing nothing.
Let us look at Cameroon's economy.
I don't want to call schools here for publicity.
No, I know that you may
not. Children are doing marvelous things.
No, engineer, the fact of the matter, when you go to the market,
yes,
you look at the number of children we have sent out as agro technicians.
Yes.
and look at what is actually applicable in the field, it's a reduction, a great reduction, and that to bring the question.
Now you are
what
coming.
Did these students
You are coming back to me. What I just said. Take the best medical doctor, Mr. Jarvis, from UK, America, India. Bring that doctor to Cameroon. Don't give that doctor facility to practice. That doctor is useless.
So we have lands.
I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Good. We have lands. The state have to come in, have a tete-a-tete meeting with local chiefs and GOs to come up with a clear-cut project for these students to form agricultural enterprise, give them facility to lands. That's what I'm saying. And also reduce tax on the importation of agricultural machineries, so these children can access some loan from the Cameroonian bank under the supervision of a state mechanism,
and
import these machines, bring experts to train them on the machine on and how they can get industrial. At the end of the day, the Cameroonian people should feed, and the feeding should be done by Cameroonians.
Okay.
The production should be done by Cameroonians. That's the point I'm making.
Okay.
The government must come in with policies.
I agree with you, but I still believe that there is need for effectiveness in terms of what we are doing, because if we look at, we are unable to eat fish, but we have people who are studying aquaculture, and you will also tell me that there is no land for aquaculture. In any environment, you can also do aquaculture. These are things that we are not doing. For example, if you look at fish farming, we don't need big land. We need to have big drums that we can set them up, put water there, and the rest. Except.
So what are you saying? That is that you think these children don't have the skill to produce fish in large capacity?
If they have the skills, they should harness the skills.
They need money. That's what I'm telling you. They need money. They need land. They need an accompaniment.
So which means that we are the ones.
When you just graduated, how much was your bank account?
I don't even have. I did not even have a bank account.
Did you have bank account even?
I did not even have a bank account.
So you think the children that are graduating now, they have how much in their bank account?
But we hustle.
Some of them are coming from very poor homes.
Yeah.
When they finish school, their parents just know that they are going to go and look for
it's
job.
the same thing like us now. I sent myself in the university.
I understand, but you see how it was difficult for you to do that.
Then
Then where do you want the student to pick money and then just start doing things?
Engineer, I worked in the chantier.
How much money do you generate from chantier?
I work in the chantier.
That can establish a big aquaculture farm.
I sold jerseys, second-hand jerseys in Moya. For the
Yes.
people who are watching in Moya, they'll tell you. I worked in the chantier. I pushed truck in Moya market. That's why a lot of people still know me in Moya market. I pushed truck. When I graduated, I worked in chantier. I worked at the bakery to raise money to be able to buy some of my equipment on journalism.
Do you know how many children graduate from all the universities in Cameroon every year?
I know it's over 900,000 per year. You look at the number of graduated UB and the rest.
I mean, Cameroon higher education.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Every year.
Over 900,000 or 800,000.
How many bakeries do we have?
We have a lot of bakeries now, engineer. Look at the lands that we have across where we are going to do.
The largest bakery you know is having how many employees?
No, but
Let's be real.
No, I'm real.
No, I mean that we should be real.
I'm being real.
And we should try to encourage. I'm struggling to encourage the government to implement policies here, Mr. Jarvis. Stop derailing me. We need policies that work for our children.
To explain these things.
Yes. We are tired of seeing an average child in Cameroon. What is in there is traveling. If all of these children travel, the next generation, are we sure that they don't want to stay in this country?
This was a please let me come again. We have a very corrupt nation. No matter what you guys discuss on the table, will never sensitive this government. The main source of the government of Cameroon is tax. At the end of the day, is the government of Cameroon using these tax to satisfy the nation or scaring investors and avoiding employment? This other right is hi. Greetings to you all. For the Cameroon's economy to be reworking, higher institutions for learning should partner with companies whereby the learner can demonstrate the skills. See Ombe, Bengui Technical and some major old technical institutions in Douala, Yaoundé, Bafoussam. However, the Cameroonian youth are beginning to understand the importance of technical and vocational training centers. This is coming from this one, right? It says, greetings, Mr. Jarvis. The laws and decisions from the higher authorities of our country are not respected. For example, the senior divisional officer of Akeba recently signed an order prohibiting the movement of heavy-duty trucks into the town of Limbe between the hour of 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. not actually being respected, as you can still see heavy-duty trucks descending to the town of Limbe at any time of the day. Even as we speak, why do people not respect the decision our local authorities have put in place? This is Chris from Limbe. On this note, I'm sure that's why we have police and gendarmeries who are on the road. And if you go down to that road, you have police, gendarmeries at that road of Limbe. And you move to, before you just leave Mutengene, when you're about to enter into the Limbe highway, you have a control checkpoint there. When you move to the Ombe, when you move towards Ombe, at the Brazaris, you have another control checkpoint there. When you enter My 4 Limbe, you have another control checkpoint there. Now, asking why are people not respecting the senior divisional officer of Limbe's order of prohibiting heavy-duty trucks to circulate between the period of 5 a.m. right up to 10 p.m., the question should be, what is the effective use of the gendarmeries checkpoint if they cannot effectively implement the order put in place by the head of state representative in that area, hearing the senior divisional officer? At that level, it is now on the forces of law and order. That's why it's called law and order, to reinforce the arrêté put in place by the senior divisional officer of Limbe. But what are they doing? That should be your question, Mr. Chris, because these are our persons who are supposed to protect us. So if they are that road, and I've given you the different areas where they are in the road, if they are that road, they should be able to say, hey, heavy-duty trucks, park here, give us a document, you have violated the order put in place by the head of state representative of the area, because violating this is violating the head of state, violating the state institution, and violating Cameroon. So I think that this is not an issue where we say the drivers will not, normally police officers and institutions of law and order are put in place because man itself needs order, and that's why you have law and order. So if these people cannot be able to do their job, I don't know, maybe engineer have something to say in regard to that.
No, I think you have responded to him perfectly.
Okay.
It is the role of the law enforcement officials to enforce the decision or arrêtés of administrators. Administrator is there to sign. They are there to implement. So if the heavy duty trucks, and I think I love that arrêté, I wish they can bring it in Douala. I wish they can apply that kind of arrêté in Douala, because there should be a period of time where these heavy duty trucks apply the route.
There is.
But you need to see, the other day I was going down to Bonaberry, I saw a heavy a collision between an Avensis and a heavy duty truck, and was like, well, why can't they say, okay, heavy duty trucks can apply at this time?
There is.
There is, but why are they not respecting? Huh? It tells that probably there is somebody who is receiving gombo. You know, because if you can enforce the decision of the representative of the head of state, then there's a problem. And it shouldn't be taken lightly.
Which means you are violating the head of state, because it's an institution.
Of course. That's administration hierarchy. So if the DO have signed a decision and you are not implementing, not even the man at the road should be held there. It's the big man that sent them.
Yes.
So that big man did not send them with clear instructions. Because even if they sign, you, the head controlling the elements, you need to emphasize, because you are the one to sanction them directly. But if anything go wrong, the DO has the right to sanction you, the head, meaning you did not caution your elements very well.
Okay. This one says, hello, House of Commons, please. We wish to know what has caused the increment of basic foodstuff, which has caused Cameroonians not to be able to feed themselves, and even when they feed, but not what they want. That is just to eat to full. You can't imagine that a bag of rice here in Kumba is 35,000.
Wow.
It's like our leaders don't have time for their citizens. This is Mr. Bangkok from Kumba. Engineer, you want to respond?
Yeah, Mr. Bangkok, it's a shame we all are in the soup. Thank you very much for your intervention. We all are in the soup, and that's why we are crying. Economically, we started having price skyrocketing after COVID. You know, after coronavirus, there was lockdown. The Prime Minister signed some decrees to reduce taxes. But when they reinstated the taxes, we did not even know when that happened. And we are suspecting that when the taxes were reinstated, they went up. So from that period, we started seeing increment of food prices. And we're laughing over it, saying, oh, it's a Ukraine war. But the Ukraine war have not stopped. And then all of a sudden, we started seeing taxes being imposed. Even money in our electronic wallets now are being taxed. I don't know, very soon they will come to money that is in our pocket.
They just talked about the fact that money that has been in the bank for over some time.
For some time now, they want to send it to state treasury. So it's really bad, my brother. And the what just break the camel's back now is the increment of fuel price that went up to 840 francs a liter. So this alone has caused the transportation also to increase. So our parents and our mothers who are helping us to have foods in town are facing it find it very difficult to transport that food. A bucket of beans that we used to buy at 20 liters at 12,000 francs. Today, half of that 20 liter of beans is sold at 14,500. So to get now a full bucket, you multiply that 14,500 by 2. So they are giving you now 20 liter a bucket of beans at 29,000. It's deplorable, my brother. It's deplorable. And when these prices went up, the government increased salary of civil servant by 5%.
And they said for private workers, the Prime Minister will sit and discuss.
Twice. We have not had any meeting. We have not seen any meeting going on how they want the private workers to also adapt to the price increment, and no salary increment for workers in the private sector. So you see, it's a sad situation. I only pray that our leaders understand the plight of the common man and do everything within their powers to see that they can remedy the situation. If they cannot take the taxes down, then they should try to see that people have some salaries that can permit them take care of their family, especially in major towns like Kumbalimbe, Douala, Yaoundé, Maroua, Kuseri. So something should be done.
Okay, this one says, hello, greetings on the platform. The government here is the problem. They greatly discourage any little investment from young people. Just try to establish a little business. All the capital is being collected as tax. There is no encouragement for anything being done in this country. You can see even importance has fallen because our brothers that you are talking about import. Okay, it should be import, not important. Import has fallen. This all right. It says, thank you very much for this very educative program. I really enjoy the program. I'm getting to understand that there's a lot of cacophony within this nation. First, the people are intelligent, they are hungry. Second, there is no food. Third, there's no water. Fourth, there's no light. Fifth, there's no money in their pocket. Where and how are we going to cope? Election is around the corner. Money will be seen. 1,000 will be given. Ghana oil will be given. Sardine will be given. If they give me, I'll eat, but I will not vote. If they give you eat, but vote now, Papa. Please, you can call us to also get what your own part of the discussion. Engineer, let me now move to the level of you talk about human capital. But before going to human capital, I want us to look at, you mentioned a little of issues. You talk about energy, you talk about roads, you talk about hospital, you talk about education. I want us now to come to education. Now the economy, education play a key role in shaping the economy.
Perfect.
Now look at the level at which we are now, at the level of a higher institution of learning. A lot of schools advertise what they don't have. And you are talking about the fact that the government need to come in and to set up pilot centers.
Yeah.
Where when a kid leaves, that kid should be able to practicalize and to build the skills.
Yes, Mr. Jarvis, I will not change my stance on that. The government is the sole guarantor of the education of Cameroonians. If we observe that many of these schools, I first of all applaud the head of state for bringing education right to the doors of the common man. It's not a bad thing for us to have many institutions, but we need adequate coordination, because these children need to come out with skills that can help the economy in all the sectors, starting from health, agriculture, the mining sector, which I think I will talk about. I should remind you again that the head of state mentioned a mining project in the end of year speech that was to go operational this 2024. We are not hearing anything about it again. And a good decision was taken, I think 2011, 2012, to create a mining school in Menganga. I mentioned that here one time. All of that is in the educational policy of Cameroon to develop local content that can take charge of the various sectors in our nation. So the mining school is there. These children have graduated. Many of them can't have job because the mining sector is still closed. So I think those who are our stakeholders in this sector should be able to tell Cameroonians if that project is going to go through or if it's not going to go through, and what is disturbing it. Because I think the head of state, as a father of nation, when he says something, the technicians should go to work, and if there's no resources, they should go rush back to him so that he can do evaluation with experts to understand what's in the state treasury and what is needed to get it done. So I am still saying the solution is not to go about shutting down the schools, because these schools, they are solving a major problem. Not all parents before now could send their children to these major towns to go and study. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So now schools coming to their doorsteps has greatly cut down costs to many parents. So we have many Cameroonians taking advantage, going to school, having their degrees, their HNDs, their BTS, name them. It's a good thing. Now, what I want to see is what I said. Instead of us, if there's no money, instead of us spending billions in university games, let us take these billions and create pilot plans in the engineering sector, in the business sector, that in the health sector, in the medical sector, that will permit these children to have holistic training. Only then can we say the goodwill of the head of state to see that all Cameroonians are trained and that Cameroon has local content that can advance the economy is realized. That is just a plea I'm making. So we can't stand there and rubbish the program that the Minister of State, Minister of Higher Education, called experts from all over the country to draw, which is the HND and the BTS program, with the sole objective to professionalize the educational system. It was a perfect move. We should applaud that. But we are pleading that extra measures should be taken so that these children have adequate technical skills transferred to them that will permit them play active role in the advancement of the Cameroon economy.
Yeah, let us also look at this. Please feel free to call us now. You can call us now. Some of you have been trying to call us, and unfortunately I could not take the call when engineer was actually talking, but you can also now give us a call when I'm reading the messages, so that some of the issues maybe engineer can raise can actually respond to them. Let me take on this message. This one says, thank you very much for this program, very educative program. I want to appreciate you guys very much. This time is not about President Pobia up and down, it's about the economy. My only worry is that our government is doing little or nothing to make sure that we have a better economy. Embezzlement is all-time high. How are we going to have a better economy with this level of embezzlement in the country? As I speak to you, I am very, very hungry. I am a graduate and I have been struggling to have a job, even to volunteer for free. They have not been able to give me. So tell me, what do you want us to do? Should we not japa
And for bush.
My brother, it is your right to Japan. This one says, hello House of Commons, some products have been made like cassava powder, banana powder for baking, but it doesn't sell like the other imported baking powder. The problem in this country is the personnel in the country. Speaking about transport routes from Banga Mojoka to Douala, you can't even sleep in the vehicle because you can't travel for 10 kilometers without a pothole. So this is coming from Emmanuel from Kumba. Emmanuel, why do you even want to sleep? You should not sleep now about traveling now. So the driver will not speed. I think there's one advantage to of this thing. The driver reduces speed of drivers, because some of our drivers are driving as though they have removed the issue that causes accident in cars. So sometimes I'm sure this. Hello, good afternoon. Yes, sir. Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Mamina.
Yes, sir.
And this country is very bad. This country is very bad. This country is very bad. We should thank God.
So how do we fix it?
How
do we fix it?
No, we'll fix it by the time we win for.
Network. Good afternoon. I am enjoying your program. I want to differ with the analysis of your guest on the youth not striving in agriculture after training. It says this one thing. It says, let me take on the message. It says, what's discussing this now? Say, I want to differ with your guests on the youth not striving in agriculture after training. Talking an experienced persons in the field, you don't need much financial support to begin agriculture. An intensive huckleberry garden will require a seed for 3,500 minimum, organic manure 4,000 francs, and inorganic manure 12,000, which is at least 70,000. The truth is, these training schools suffer from gross inadequate practical training facilities coupled with lack of passion for the profession by youth in agricultural schools, with the notion of getting employed by the state. Poor orientation on project, agricultural project management and implementation during training. Fish farming will take you less than 50,000 to run small fish farm and expand from there. Therefore, this analysis on the need for huge financial resource for youth to excel is just not true. Those who did agricultural economy, how many of them has set up advertising and marketing agro enterprise in assisting farmers to sell at favorable prices? This is coming from Valerie in Bamenda. Engineer will react, but let me just take on this call. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon. Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Kupe.
Yes, right on.
So I just want to give my own contribution. This country, Cameroon, we don't know what is happening in this our nation.
Yes.
This country, things are becoming hard, and accident, people are dying every day, my brother.
Yes. How do you
fix it? We don't know what is really happening in this country, and the economy is too high. We are suffering every day and night. The prices of things are increasing by daily and every day, my brother.
Yes. So how do we fix it?
Yes, sir.
How do we fix it?
So we are struggling. Nothing is moving.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, have a nice day. I'm enjoying your program.
Thank you. When you call us, also tell us how we fix it now. Don't just say it's bad. Can
I react
Yes, of course.
I think my brother, Mr. Valerie from Bamenda, he has
given his contribution. I will not differ with him, but he should understand that I was looking at industrial scale agriculture. What he just described is small scale agriculture. We have many people doing that kind of agriculture. Okay, many people, even those who have not been to school, they are doing that. But what is the multiplying effect?
Yes, Abdullah, right on. Sorry.
Yeah, my problem with this country is just mismanagement.
Yes.
Because the first thing, just see the CRTV tax that we're paying. Other stations are working without the CRTV tax like this your station.
Yes.
And they are going well. Then we are sick. We are hungry. I really work with the engineer. We are sick and hungry.
Yes.
You see the point? And they cannot divert that tax that we're paying to CRTV to our hospitals.
Yes.
So if they can do that, just that, because I cannot, if you calculate the amount of money people spend just because of some little things, maybe you see somebody go to the hospital and just to buy paracetamol or something, some drugs that can stop the illness at a faster rate. The person will wait because there is no money. When the thing becomes chronic, you have to go and spend millions.
Yes.
So that's my first point. They should divert the CRTV tax to hospitals. Two, energy, they should subsidize solar energy so that I can buy my battery, make my panels on my zinc, manage my light.
Yes.
Then I will encourage the youth again, because most youth, they just complain like that. If you see their lifestyle, most of them, they just like to enjoy without suffering. Nowadays, you see a scammer stopping, even standing in front of a lecturer without any respect. So that lifestyle with the youth, they should also think of how to really manage it.
Yeah.
Then I will not really take much of your time, but I will go to conclude that the way the government is running is having a problem at the level of education. Because if you look at the infrastructure that they make, like this ENS and said, then the level of corruption at that level, and then the most intelligent people are not out there to even have those positions to train the other ones that are coming behind. They will use corruption. If you have money, you buy a position, It's just that I don't need to be saying things. But all of us know down to the level that, all of us know what is happening.
I don't know.
Let me say, if you don't know, but for me, I just understand that there is a problem because the most intelligent people are in the quarters while the dull ones are in classes teaching our children another dull ideas. Yeah, so thank you.
Thank you, Abdullah, thank you. I don't know. As all of us know. Engineer, do you know?
I don't know.
Yes, yeah. I'd continue. You're talking about the fact
Yes, I
that
was talking to my brother Valerie, who just called before Madam Abdullah, that I was talking about agriculture that can uplift the economy, not just subsistence agriculture. The kind of agriculture that he is talking about, that you need 70,000. I think what quantity of fish can you produce with 70,000? Is to feed a family.
Yeah.
You understand? So I am talking
about
economy.
Yes, on the
agriculture will have a multiplying effect in our economy.
Hello. Yes, good afternoon.
Hello?
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Jarvis.
Yes, where are you calling us from?
Yes, I'm calling from there. I'm not calling from there.
Yes, sir.
Yes. What I want to say is that, yes, good afternoon, Mr. Jarvis.
Yes, right on.
I'm not calling from where? I'm calling from where? Yes, I want to say the Cameroon of. I want to say the statue.
Can you move a bit from your TV?
Yes. I'm saying that.
Yes. Please, when you call us, move a bit from your TV because there's a bit of delay. You have interference and there's a bit of delay since you are doing the direct line before the transmission goes up and before it comes down. Please, when you call us, move a bit from your TV. You don't need to listen to your TV again before you talk to us because we are already getting you. All you just need to do is just to ride on. As long as I pick the call, you ride on. This one says, good afternoon to you all in the House of Commons. Our educational system is the first drawback to the economic growth. The country, let me take on this call before I continue on the message. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us.
Hello?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. This is Mr. Bob Guy recording from Mutengene.
Yes, Mr. Bob Guy Eric, right on.
Yeah, so, sir, it's not easy. You see, I have just one thing to say. We have to pray because this, the country has been in such a way that one cannot understand. So, the only thing I have to advise my current brothers in this country is just that we have to go in and vote and dissolve this government. Maybe things will change. I just have that belief that things will change. Not even maybe. I just have the belief that things will change. Even if it will get worse, but it will be a little bit better for some time. Maybe we can see some changes. Yeah.
Okay.
So thank you. That's just the advice.
Thank you, Mr. Bobga. Let me continue on this message. It says the educational system, countrymen and women label blame on the government for not meeting with the basic needs for growth, whereas we are not creative enough to enable the government to realize the objective. Therefore, I suggest the government look in the educational system because we are tired of learning. Let Center for Practical and Research Work be open. Let Centers for Practical and Research Work be open for development. For instance, we bring in foreign experts to regulate certain higher professional job in our country today, where we see where the citizens are in search of jobs. This is coming from Chris from Kumba. This other right, he says, thank you guys very much for this topic. I really enjoyed the topic. Thank you. Please, where you call us, shift a bit from your TV set. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon. So, engineer, let's look at this message. This message says, I really appreciate what you people are saying there. My question to engineer is, in all of the things that people have been discussing, where do we go from here?
Who asked that question?
An anonymous.
All right, where do we go from here? I think when I talk of problems, I've always been proposing solutions. One time I said here, every country, the thing with our leaders is that they don't want to look outside. And even when they look outside, they look at countries that are too advanced more than us. If I am a leader in this country now, we should be looking at developmental model of countries like Singapore. That started from dungeons. Singapore was a ghetto. Today, Singapore, you can't refer them to that.
They are second world nations, yeah.
Exactly. So I think that leaders of our country should be looking at what did they do that worked for them. What can we bring? Look at Dubai. By now, our leaders should be studying the developmental model of Dubai, because we discovered oil before Dubai. Dubai discovered oil recently. We discovered oil since in the 60s that we knew what crude oil. But look at what they have used their crude oil to transform, to turn their nation into.
And now they are no longer dependent on crude oil.
They are not. They are on tourism now. One of the best hospitals is in Dubai. Their educational system too is coming up. You see, so I think our leaders should look at what works. You see, we black people just want power for power. When they say, oh, Monsieur le Maire, you are carrying your body, yeah. Son excellence, yeah. You know, you just believe that power gives you that special status and pride. No, you don't know you are a servant. And you are judged by the legacy that you leave behind. So we don't have that culture of legacy. I watched Lee Kuan Yew when he was resigning from politics. He gave a speech and highlighted all his achievements. The standing ovation that they gave him was phenomenal. They were not clapping because he was Prime Minister of Singapore. They were clapping because he took Singapore with iron fist and love for his nation. He put his nation first in front of before everything. But we have leaders who build mansions in somebody else's country, spend days out. They say they are civilized. How civilized are they? They will leave cocoyams here and go and be eating salad in somebody's country. It's salad food. So you are leaving organic food. Hello. You go into somebody's country. You are relaxing.
Good morning, sir.
You are going for it. Good morning.
I want to tell you that the engineer has said something concerning university games.
Yes.
One thing that is killing us is that we in Cameroon have too many ministries and ministers. They are sub and all the like. And then you see that Ministry, I will give you an example. The Ministry of National Education that used to be, it has been cut down to how many ministries and how many ministers. You see now that this is chopping too much money. If they can cut down the number of ministries, then you see that something can be managed a bit. Thank you for this.
Thank you very much. I thought that was something that we talked about last week.
Yeah.
The reduction of the ministries.
Yeah.
That there were too many.
Too many.
And we also talk about, so you you are going political now, engineer.
No, I will not want to dive
To the ministries and all of
No,
that.
you just talk about it.
But I think that we have too many administration, not just the ministry. Cameroon has too many administrators for its population. We are just 27 million.
Okay.
Of 20.
I don't believe we are 27 million.
Yeah, let's just say.
I'm going by the last census.
Yeah.
Cameroon is 15 million or 60 million. The last census.
2005.
Yeah, we have not had official information.
You are still on 15 million.
We have not had official
2005. We're in
The
2024.
census of 2005 has not been published.
Okay, so
we don't have the data.
I'm giving a World Bank estimate. We're about 27.
Where did World Bank get that information from?
I don't know.
Trust that World Bank, because I believe Cameroon government more than World Bank, who hasn't conducted a census.
Mr. Jarvis, don't remove words from my mouth. You understand? So, we are spending too much on administration. We have more administrators than technicians who can build us roads and all of that. So that too should be. I think the point he raised is good.
Okay. Thank you very much for coming, engineer.
Thank you, Mr. Jarvis, and we want to thank also the televiewers for having patience to listen to us up till now, and all those who interacted. I think it shows great commitment and love for this nation. Mr. Jarvis, one thing I know when I look at an average Cameroonian, we love this country. Nobody should say otherwise. And if we are talking and keep talking, it's because we have not lost hope. We just want the change that will cause all Cameroonians to be integrated and have a taste in the national treasures that our forefathers have left for us without any bias or tribalism.
We're out of time. This one says, how can small farmers pay tax to sell in our local market? Every small thing is tax. This is coming from, and the last message before we're out of time, please. The last message before we go, say happy Sunday. Say I have listened from most importers, and they are so much discouraged on how the government treats them in the issue of taxes. Most Cameroon importers have preferred doing business in neighboring countries. Desmond Tutu enjoying the program from Douala. Thank you very much, Desmond Tutu. Desmond Tutu, can we please educate our youth that agricultural projects are implemented using the bottom-top approach and not the reverse? Can you tell me how a student who left an agricultural school can be given huge financial support to implement projects, say table bed production without prior experience on a small scale? We want to thank you very much. As Spicy, Cameroon has a very poor economy and poor standard of living among individuals, whereby there's no job available for fellow Cameroonians, no employment after some have acquired certificate is really a talk of the country. Thank you all those who participated. Thank you, Desmond. Thank you, Alain. Thank you to the technical team. I'll leave you with this. No matter the matter, what matters is your matter, and what should matter for you is that you stay out of trouble. My name is Tah Mai Jarvis on Cameroon's commercial capital, Douala. Thank you, John Bange. Until we meet again, stay out of trouble. Bye-bye.